Earlier this week, presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren announced her debt cancellation plan and debt-free college plan for the United States. Now, her debt cancellation plan is something that's phenomenal, something I 100% support. And it goes a little further than just offering debt-free college. This is, we're going to provide student loan debt relief for the 45 million Americans holding $1.5 trillion in student loan debt here in the United States. Now, immediately, the right wing went absolutely berserk. Oh God, what's going to happen to the poor lenders? Ben Shapiro cries. Oh God, how is this fair to people who've already paid off their student loans? Other conservatives cried. Well, if any of these people had a brain, if any of these people knew how to do math, they would know that Elizabeth Warren's plan to cancel student loan debt would be one of the biggest economic boosts that this country has ever gotten, ever. So, because I'm a person that really, I guess, had nothing better to do on Tuesday evening, I started doing research and I started gathering numbers and I started doing the math. And I've done it. And here it is. As I mentioned, we have 45 million people in the United States holding student loan debt. The average student loan debt payment is between $200 and $280 per person. That's the average. So even if we take that low-end average of $200 a month that 45 million people are paying every single month, that's $9 billion a month. $9 billion a month that right now is going to these lending institutions, to the banks. $9 billion a month, every month of the year. 80% of people in this country live paycheck to paycheck, which means 80% of people in this country spend all of the money they make each month, all of it. Maybe a couple bucks left over, but all of it. So 80% of that 45, which would be 36 million, suddenly 36 million people have an extra $200 a month, that, on the low end, $200, that they still have to spend. Because that 80% isn't just living to paycheck, most of them are having to also live off credit cards. So $200 a month from 36 million people going directly back into the economy, that is $7.2 billion each month going back into the economy, being spent on things, being used to maybe pay off other bills, other debts, other loans, get a better apartment, get your car fixed, go grocery shopping, go out to eat every once in a while, once a month. But it's roughly $200 spent by 36 million people every single month going back into the economy. For, again, on the low end, $7.2 billion in new economic spending every single month. Every single month, just by canceling the student loan debt. Any conservative out there, please explain to me why adding $7.2 billion in new economic spending every single month is a bad idea. Tell me why we shouldn't do that. And you don't have to, because you can't. How many new jobs would be created every single month if suddenly $7.2 billion is going back into the economy, back into local communities, into restaurants, into small businesses? That creates jobs, and it happens every single month. So instead of sending this money to the big banks, why not put it back into the economy? Because that's also going to generate tax revenue. So the federal government's going to make more money. And yeah, they underwrote some of these student loans so they would lose money on the debt cancellation and then recoup it from the increase in tax revenue. See, this is what happens when you actually start to analyze things and you start to look at the numbers and you start to do the math and you realize, wait a minute, hell yeah, this is a good idea. Kind of like when the Koch brothers funded the study about Medicare for All, trying to debunk it, and ended up finding out after doing the math that, oh crap, this is going to save us a lot of money. You got to look beyond the headlines. You got to look beyond the talking points. You got to look beyond the stupidity of these right-wing talking heads. when you start to look at the numbers, this makes perfect sense. The crazy idea is to let that $9 billion a month continue going to the lending institutions who continue to screw over American citizens, rich and poor alike. That is crazy. Forgiving all student loan debt? That's honestly the only sane choice at this point. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.